there was a store which is a very popular store and deals with various kind of fabrics and silk sarees. These are actually pictures coming in from Chennai, from a store there, which had people gathering in. This is just from yesterday, we are told. Look at the number of people there and the number of people who've actually gathered under that roof. Now, this video of how people were rushing in for festival shopping, even in midst of a pandemic, despite the scared and in absolute violation of SOPs. When this video went viral, now they have been sent a notice and the store has been asked to stay shut. Also, a warning has been given out to other stores in the area as well. But what exactly is happening? Have people forgotten that we are still living in midst of a pandemic? Well, that's the question we'll take with our experts. At the point, we've joined by Dr. Rakesh Verma. He's a professor for cardiology at Safdarjung Hospital. We also have Dr. Koushik Lahiri. He's the Vice President at West Bengal Doctors Forum. Let me begin with Dr. Verma. Dr. Verma, when you look at pictures like the ones we've been getting from Chennai, or you look at pictures that are emerging in Bihar, for example, where there is massive violation of COVID SOPs, be it elections or be it the festival season, people seem to have forgotten that we are still pretty much living in midst of our pandemic. How big is the festival season scare at the moment? What is the anticipation that experts like you are making?
See, as a physician, as a citizen of India, as a senior position in the government, I very strongly feel that this fight is not of any government. This is fight of each individual, each citizen of this country. I and you both have to understand, if corona affects anybody, it is my fault, it's the fault of the patient to a very large extent. If we follow the social distancing norms, if we follow the strict guideline of using a mask altogether, if you cough, have sneezing, you are not doing in a towel and you're moving away from the people, and if I am maintaining a social distance and if I'm violating that, then I'm inviting this coronavirus to come to me, to my home, my family, my kutum, my mohalla, my city.
People seem to be forgetting this. While we speak with you, we are showing pictures of how markets are flooded, malls are flooded. People are out on the streets. In Delhi, traffic is back. We're seeing it firsthand, morning and evening. So what should we be done? What I'm trying to understand from you, sir, is I understand there's a COVID fatigue that has set in, right?
Photograph of Honorable Prime Minister.
Right.
He is using a very long mask. You don't find a single photograph of Honorable Prime Minister without wearing a mask, and he used a very long muffler type of mask so that no air from his mouth and nostril getting out. He is setting the example. Our Honorable Health Minister, if you've seen any TV interview, any press conference, Sunday Samvad, he is constantly wearing a mask. So if they can use a mask, why can't I and you can use a mask? I am carrying always a mask hanging in my neck. Only for the interview I removed. When I don't require, I remove it down. Otherwise, I use it like this. So this thing we all have to follow. Now the festival period has come for joy, for enjoyment, for giving our prayers, paying obeisance, exchanging gifts to the relative and friends, giving small pumps to our youngsters, but not to give corona. So I and you, each individual must remember that puja is by heart. Puja is not by show off. What puja you want to do in a temple, you can try to do it this year from your home, from within the 4 corridors. If you want festivities, do it at home. What is the requirement of crowding out? What is the requirement of being jungling up in one place? So this precaution, no government can impose. Government can only give an advisory. Government can say, please don't do it.
Government actually can impose. It can impose a lockdown. I'm not sure if that's going to happen though. Something, let me bring in Dr. Lahiri on this one. Something, Dr. Lahiri, we're seeing the European countries get into. All day today, we've been talking about how numbers are escalating in that part of the world. From Italy to Brussels to US to all of EU actually, we are seeing a massive spike in cases, forcing most of the cities to go into a second phase of lockdown. What does one do with a country like India, where you don't want to kill the joy or perhaps the cheer of the festivals, but at the same time try to tell people the best gift you can actually give somebody this season is the gift of safety, and people have forgotten that. Look at the pictures.
Exactly. Actually, we need to remember that it all started in Spain was doing okay, but on 7th or 8th of March, there was a celebration on Women's Day, and simultaneously there was a big football match. So Spain is a soccer mad country like ours, and after that there was a huge spike in Spain. And what is happening in Europe, especially on the northern part, is the winter is setting in, and that has created havoc in Europe. But in our country, if we are not taking any lesson from the Onam, what happened in Kerala.
Right.
So they had about 11 and 30 cases before Onam, and then they reached 11,000. So that is what is terrific. And a similar thing is going to happen in Bengal if we are not careful enough. And this is a huge, huge festival. And we need to remember the Ganesh Chaturthi could be carved in Maharashtra and in 3 states, very specifically, I'm telling Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra, they decided to stop the Garba dance. So if we can do it, if Saudi Arab can stop the Hajj this time, and even Muharram and all the other festivities could be very correctly stopped by our state governments and central governments, why not this festival? This puja will come every year. But this time, if we allow this to happen, there will be a huge tsunami of cases, and we have reached the absolute end point of our tolerance, and the doctors, the health staff workers, the police administration, and even the bed numbers, everything has reached a level. And we really do not know what is in store if we cannot impose all this restriction properly during the puja days.
Important words there, Doc. But take us through also, you know, we've seen a trend in India. What happens in Europe is perhaps what trickles down to India in about 15-20 days time or so. We've seen the trends emerge in that manner. So if the current trend in Europe is to be seen, by when do you think could India be actually looking at another peak?
Actually, not exactly from Europe, but from middle of November or December is the time where the flu virus time also sets in. So that is the winter sets in, and the physicians all over the globe are more concerned what corona will do during this flu season. So it's not specific about India, it's not specific for US or Europe. Already it has started. It is peaking in the northern part of UK, and in various parts of Europe, the lockdown has again been imposed. So India, there may not be a very harsh winter in all the parts like Europe, but in the northern part, in the eastern part, really after the setting of this the flu time and the winter, especially after this, all the festivities are over. So we are expecting a surge in November.
In November, it's actually going to be peak Diwali season as well.
Yes,
so are you saying there's going to be a double whammy of sorts where we could have festival season compounded by the dipping of temperature that could create, in your words, tsunami of cases?
Yes. Actually, as a physician, our duty is to make everybody happy and peaceful and be calm and quiet. But this is not the time as physician individually from our West Bengal Doctors Forum or from the platform, joint platform of doctors, we have written letters to the Chief Minister of the state, to all the political parties, that be careful, because if you are not careful during the festive season, this is Durga Puja, and after that the Diwali festivity, and then the time of the winter sets in, if you are not careful, you should be very prepared for the worst. And if now we are having, remember, Bengal was doing very good. And before, in the middle of September, it was about 3,000 cases, and the recovery rate was one of the highest in India, and very few mortality. But now, after 1 month, we have remember, India in 17th of September it peaked. It was 97,000 per cases. Now it has climbed down to 55,000. That is substantial. But what Bengal did, we were adding about 3,000 cases per day. Now, yesterday, we had 3,992 cases. That is about 1,000 cases increased in last 1 month. So this is, and our recovery rate also is dropping.
Right.
And this is before the puja started. During the puja shopping, what you have shown in the photos, all there's a mad shopping everywhere. And so we are with folded hands, we are telling everybody to be careful. This is not the last puja of your life. So you can have enough time if you are alive, if you are healthy, if you are you can sustain through this Corona COVID era, you will have enough time to enjoy in your life. So why you are doing this? We are telling everybody.
Powerful words, Dr. Lahiri. We really, really hope people are listening in very carefully to this. Last comments from both of you. When the Prime Minister speaks at 6 p.m., what are expectations that you hold from him? What would you like him to speak about? Dr. Lahiri, you can go first.
Prime Minister, as the leader of the country, he should set example, but what he is preaching, what he is teaching, and he should be very pragmatic in balancing between the life and livelihood of the people. I'm sure he will do that because there's a huge debate between life and livelihood.
Right.
And he should be absolutely straight in telling the people to follow all the protocol. So it's not a question of politics now. All the political parties, all the state governments, everybody should follow the protocol properly because this is a question of our survival.
Right. Dr. Verma, what are your expectations from what the Prime Minister should be talking about at 6 p.m.?
See, I'm nobody to comment on anything on that. Please excuse me for that, but I can assure you two things. We have got a statesman as a Prime Minister. He's a very wise, very able, very noble person. He knows that welfare of this country is to be led by him, and he is burning midnight oil. I can assure you, as I'm aware, more than 16, 17 hours, constantly for several months, he has been guiding us, directing the Health Ministry, Honorable Health Minister Saab, our Health Secretary. They all are devoting their maximum time as a war room to help the people. And this could be no different from that. This will be no different from that. And I assure you, we all must have full faith in wisdom of our Honorable Prime Minister, and he knows what he has to say, what he not say.
Okay, doctors, we'll have to leave it there for the moment. Thank you so much for joining us. We really, really hope, like he said, like Dr. Lahiri actually said, don't give in and understand that there could be a tsunami of cases that might emerge post the festival season if we are not careful. So we need to be watching out those festive urges inside all of us.